Hello and welcome to Diplomatic Derivatives. In this series of lectures, we're talking about international relations. We have already talked about international relations related to India, where we talked about India's great grand strategy. It's allowing India to conduct its foreign relations in countries like South Asian countries as well as globally. We have already discussed US-China rivalry, where it is reminiscent of Cold War between the US and the Soviets, and as critics would say, it is igniting Cold War 2.0 around the globe. So we have covered these topics in theoretical perspectives as well as analytical perspectives, so make sure you check those concepts out. The link to the videos is in the description box below or in the I button above. Today we're talking about a rather interesting concept, and this concept is linked to China, where China over the years has transformed its diplomatic ties. The way it conducts international relations has transformed over the years, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So when you think of diplomacy, you probably imagine handshakes, smiles, and carefully worded statements. But what if diplomacy looked more like a battlefield that's loud, it's sharp, and aggressive? Well, that's where we enter China's wolf warrior diplomacy. For decades, China followed Deng Xiaoping's cautious advice, hide your strength and bide your time. But under President Xi Jinping, that era is over. Instead, China's diplomats are now fierce, vocal, and unafraid to take critics head-on. This new style, often called the wolf warrior diplomacy, is taking its name from a popular Chinese action movie where patriotic soldiers fight foreign enemies. It's diplomacy, but with the tone of battle cry. So what exactly is wolf warrior diplomacy? It's a confrontational style of foreign policy where Chinese diplomats defend China's national interest with a sharp rhetoric, attack critics on social media, and project an image of China as a strong, uncompromising power. Think of it as diplomacy shifting from the velvet glove to the iron fist. Let's take a look at a few examples. During COVID-19, Chinese diplomats openly suggested that the virus might have been brought to Wuhan by the US Army, flipping the blame back on Washington. In Australia, when Canberra demanded an investigation into the origins of the virus, Beijing responded with a biting rhetoric, even slapped trade restriction on Australian goods. In Europe, China's embassies have clashed with media outlets and governments, accusing them of spreading lies about Xinjiang and Hong Kong. And closer to home in Pakistan, Chinese officials vigorously defend CPEC projects, framing Western criticism as neo-colonialism. But why is China embracing this aggressive tone? Number one, to boost nationalism at home, specifically to boost domestic pride and show that the Communist Party won't let China be bullied by outsiders. Number two, in its strategic rivalry with the US as part of the larger contest for global leadership. Number three, to defend core interests on Taiwan, Hong Kong, Xinjiang, and South China Sea. China signals that it won't be compromising. And number four, global South positioning, presenting itself as a defender of developing nations against Western double standards. Or as Xi Jinping himself declared, the Chinese people will never allow any foreign power to bully, oppress, or enslave us. But here's where it gets interesting. Wolf warrior diplomacy has both strengths and weaknesses. On the positive side, it shows China as a confident great power. It rallies domestic support around the Communist Party, and it resonates with some countries in the global South who see China as standing up to Western dominance. But on the flip side, it damages China's soft power, that image of being a peaceful rising giant. It necessitates the neutral states to choose sides in order to restore the balance of power between the rising hegemons. And it fuels the idea of a new Cold War, a so-called Thucydides trap with the US. This concept has been explained in detail in the previous video where we talked about the US-China rivalry and Cold War 2.0 on the rise. We have given a wider perspective in regards to the US-China rivalry, so make sure to check that out for a deeper analysis. Now let's talk about its implications for Pakistan. For Pakistan, this style of diplomacy has a mixed impact. On one hand, it strengthens China's defense of CPEC and shields Islamabad from Western pressure. On the other hand, China's aggressive tone could complicate Pakistan's efforts to balance relations with both the US and China. So, what's the big takeaway? Wolf-warrior diplomacy reflects China's transformation from a rising power to an arrived power. It's bold, it's aggressive, and it signals that being no longer intends to play second fiddle in global affairs. But here's the catch. As the old proverb goes, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. By fighting every diplomatic battle with claws out, China risks winning applause at home but losing friends abroad. So what do you think? Is wolf-warrior diplomacy a smart strategy that shows China's strength, or is it backfiring and isolating being? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into global politics at Diplomatic Derivatives on YouTube. Thank you and bye-bye.